It's funny when someone thinks they are so smart that they know more than the collective minds of every investor globally over a long arc of time, they're just downright delusional. Now, in the short term, sure, things can get out of balance. That presents opportunity. But over a very long period of time, you're not going to outsmart the market. You don't know more than the market. And we're going to look at one sad and sorry individual that is quite delusional when it comes to XRP. Let's take a look at the market right here because I think this proves the point. We look at the cryptocurrency landscape. We pull out stable coins. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. That's the traditional setup. It has been for so long it's not even funny. Now, in the short term, yeah, BNB can leapfrog XRP. Solana once in a while might do it for a bit of time, but this is just the general ordering here, and it always typically is. And so that tells you that XRP is not worthless. XRP doesn't have no value, as Matthew Siegel, the head of research at Van Eck, would like you to believe. The collective investors globally value XRP quite high, higher than almost anything in crypto. If you're not Bitcoin or Ethereum, you are typically far behind XRP. And if you're not BNB and Solana, you're not even in the picture ever. And so, this guy, he's always tweeting, XRP doesn't make sense. It has no value. It doesn't do anything. He knows more, but we've seen when he knows more. Look at this quote here. When he says Ripple will lose the SEC case. So he's got it all figured out, doesn't he? U.S. District Judge in the library case wrote, nothing in case law suggests a token with both consumptive and speculative use case can't be sold as an investment contract. So to him, that meant Ripple's going to lose. Well, the Howie case is about orange groves. Of course, oranges are consumptive, but they could be wrapped in investment contracts. Yeah, this guy knows just a little bit, just enough to get himself in trouble, but thinks he knows everything. This guy is a certified moron. I know he worked under Kathy Wood. He did all this stuff. This guy is nuts, and it's unprofessional. What's he doing here? This is no reason to attack XRP as the head of research for Van Eck. Why would you do that? He's not being asked on the cryptocurrency by someone in an interview. He's not putting out a report. He just has this thing about going after XRP, and that tells you really that's where the opportunity is, because people like him, again, know just enough to get himself in trouble. That's all it is. Now, this is an interesting article here. We see Ripple won the fight. Now it's ghosting Wall Street despite a 40 billion IPO valuation. So they're pointing out this point that everything's cleared up legally. The business is looking good. Why aren't they going public? We see this question a lot. Ripple's SEC win opened the door to Wall Street, but the company is choosing to stay on the other side, to stay a private company. And we'll go over why I think. But in this article, it says, look, after it, they're making this puzzling decision, why to stay private. And they bring up the point of Coinbase and Robinhood that's been quite volatile, that the market does not properly value these companies right now, which there is some truth to that, of course. And so Ripple wants a more stable route. They don't need the cash, which is true. So they're choosing not to go public. It's still important that they do, though, and they will go public. And the reason is a couple. Number one, when they're hiring either executives or engineers, high value jobs, they want to earn liquid stock options, of course. And these people are earning all this stock. They don't have to go to Link2, right, and dump it on investors. They would like to just go to any brokerage account and just sell onto the market at will. And there'll be a lot more liquidity there, of course. So eventually they will. I think what you see Ripple doing, number one, yeah, they're at 40 billion, but look at just the XRP they hold. It's worth a lot more than the company's value in general. And you have all these valuable businesses. It's not valued correctly right now. You see they're launching this digital asset treasury, $1 billion worth. There's some big partners in there. Of course, we saw a lot of people unrelated to Ripple getting in here, trying to leverage XRP to try to get that fund to trade at a premium. But bigger than that, I think they're trying to show that if you have a digital asset treasury, you hold a lot of XRP on your books, you should trade at a premium like Strategy typically does. It's not right now. We'll talk about that a little bit. But, you have that. Plus, they're going to let these businesses mature. They've made some big acquisitions in custody. They're building out their stablecoin business. They're doing a lot here. So when it's time and they think they can get that value, I think they will go public, and they might not do an IPO. They might not want to sell out any more equity. They might do a direct listing like Coinbase. So like Chris Larson needs a new yacht. Brad Garlinghouse needs a new Miami mansion. Good for them. They deserve it. They can sell a little bit of stock and do that. And so by going with a direct listing, those that want liquidity can get it. People can invest in it publicly. And I think when the time is right, that's exactly what you will see happen. I just don't think we're quite there yet. Now, things are moving quickly. Maybe 2026 will be a good year, especially if this digital asset treasury does well. Has $1 billion worth of XRP. If it trades above that valuation, I think that makes a good case for the market that, like, Ripple should do the same. And then again, these businesses that they are acquiring are maturing. They're getting some cash flowing businesses that are going to be exciting to investors. And I think that's important because the payment business, they're spending money there, right? We know that they've talked about that to acquire customers, to acquire people using the network. That costs money to build this out. That's fine. That's explosive in its own right. But on top of that, on top of being able to show their growth in payments, they have all these cash flowing businesses they're building out that I think people want to invest in. So we'll see this play out, but I think that's what they're doing. They're setting the table. They don't want to just go public just to do it. They don't need the money. They want to make sure they get the valuation correctly. And when it's time, you'll see them do exactly that. This is not strange. It's to be expected. And again, I think 2026, we may see the perfect kind of events come together where they could do this and go public. Only time will tell. You've been seeing this this rumor going around on X today that Michael Saylor's strategy has started selling Bitcoin. I saw this pop up and it has these official looking, transactions here and all that. I went over the stock price is down 1%, or it was down 1.5% on the day. Like, if that happens, if this guy starts selling, you're going to see that stock price crater because it's all over Red Rover. If he sells Bitcoin, you're going the wrong direction in your Bitcoin holdings because the reason it typically trades at a premium is because he's going to acquire, in theory, Bitcoin faster than he has to repay those loans. So that goes out the window. He's going to get a big tax burden. Like, there's a lot of problems here with strategy. They're not selling. They're not selling right now. I'm telling you right now, that ain't happening. Now the day will come, I believe, when they have to do something, but that ain't now. That is not now. They are actually probably going to get ready to acquire more Bitcoin because they got to show the market they're still going to aggressively acquire Bitcoin. And the problem is going to be when they go to the market and they can't get more debt because they have no real business here. So I think this is kind of what you're seeing now in the market. Stress on MicroStrategy stock is a preview, but I assume this market is going to rebound and take off, and MicroStrategies will do quite well. They're not selling right now. Everything is probably going to be fine. But again, I don't like a business that has a lot of debt that has no real way to service that debt. Zhao Dao, we're making a big push here. We want to get to 1,000 members so we can start listing proposals, voting, getting stuff done. The Zhao Dao wants to make sure if there is some sort of technology or solution that it's built on the XRP ledger. That's where we want the utility to be, building the future on this ledger. It's $10 for a lifetime membership payable in XRP. XRP is the token for the Zhao Dao. You go right here. You can join. Use your self-custody wallet with the Saman wallet. Link down below and in the pinned comment, zhaodao.io. Join the revolution here, and let's build the future and make sure it's built on the XRP ledger for sure. Now, this is interesting. This kind of proves this point of why ETFs are so important, and that it doesn't need to be like 50% of someone's portfolio. We see right here, just checked, IBIT is now Harvard's largest position in its 13F. It's super rare and difficult to get an endowment to buy it on an ETF. So the fact that they are investing in this at all is really, really bullish, especially Harvard and Yale. It's also a good validation as that an ETF can get. So this is rock solid. That being said, $500 million is a mere 1% of their total endowment. So they're only putting 1% into IBIT, which is Grayscale, or not Grayscale, I'm sorry. It's BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. But it's big enough to be the 16th largest IBIT holder. So they're putting 1% of their portfolio into this IBIT investment, but it's massive. And so that's the thing. When you see these endowment funds, these huge investment portfolios put even 1% over, it's going to make a difference. That's why when people say the XRP ETF over the long term won't make a difference, they're nuts. This is going to add a lot of investment capital flowing into this asset. And we see that paying off big dividends for Bitcoin right here with, again, a small percentage of their portfolio, but in dollar terms, it's a lot of money here. And they're taking this space serious here. Crypto oversight by CFTC over the SEC is directionally correct. So most people kind of prefer the CFTC, but right now the SEC, they're pretty friendly, right, to cryptocurrencies. But this is the deal here. I don't know if that's correct, if it's really directionally correct. Because if I'm going to buy oil, if I'm going to buy any commodity, do I register with the CFTC? If you go buy a block of gold, do you run that by the CFTC? When you go buy a barrel of oil, do you register? No, you don't. CFTC only has jurisdiction over derivatives of commodities, not actual commodities themselves. It's actually my opinion that this stuff shouldn't be registered at all, quite frank. But they want some regulations over this space, and so we're kind of gonna get it from somebody. So I guess the CFTC may be better than the SEC, but it really should be nobody. If it's not a security, if it's not a commodity wrapped in a security contract, you shouldn't have to register at all. These are just like selling, again, blocks of gold or barrels of oil or anything else. Commodities, you shouldn't have to register, but this is the way we're going, and we're going to see that here shortly. Jim Cramer saying next week's market really hinges on NVIDIA's earnings. So this is important. We're going to have to see what Jensen has to say for us. And I put this today. Hey, if we got to be in someone's hands, you see Jensen right here signing his signature for a fan, who would be better than this guy? It's so important. AI spend is fueling everything from tech to crypto to basically the S&P 500, the whole market. We want to keep this train going down the road. A lot of people are scared. We had a big sell of NVIDIA stock, but you also had a big buy, right? $5.8 billion, a sell by SoftBank, but somebody or a few somebodies, you're not market selling that kind of thing, stepped up and bought it. We're going to hear what Jensen has to say. We know that earnings are going to be good. There's no doubt about that. But what's the forecast? What's the outlook he's going to give us? Is it going to be bullish? If so, well, I think we're going to do quite well. Crypto Eddie saying congratulations to CZ. Now included BNB chain as part of BlackRock's Biddle Fund. BlackRock, they're all about Ethereum, of course, but they're chain agnostic. They want to make sure their Biddle Fund is world class, and they're incorporating a lot of different chains, not just Ethereum. They're going to be settling that Biddle Fund out to all sorts of chains, XRP Ledger, of course, BNB chain, all sorts of stuff. So big move by CZ here to get included. Lastly, we see BD here saying VanEck says XRP has no utility. Cool. They said the same thing about Bitcoin in 2014. Scrutiny isn't bearish. It's a setup for success. And usually when the naysayers are focused on you, that's a good thing. It's when people ignore you, when they don't think about you, when you don't matter. That's the problem you got to worry about. The fact that they're hyper-focused on XRP, attacking it, just means either they don't understand it or they don't want to understand it. Either way, we're going to do well. It's just about getting through this muck and mire we're in right now. And I think it'll be off to the races. Lastly, over on Spotify, I got my EDM album. Go check it out. Link down below and in the pinned comment. You can give it a listen. No One to Blame is the most successful single off of there. I believe that AI is going to be used as an instrument, just like synthesizers and drum machines and things of that nature. Give it a check it out and give me a follow on there. If you got a Spotify account, that helps a lot. Follow me. And then again, make sure ZaoDao, join this revolution, governance on the XRP ledger. Together we matter. Participate in the future. $10 for a lifetime membership. Link down below and in the pinned comment, ZaoDao.io. This is going to be a game changer for the XRP ledger. When someone questions our decentralization, we're going to be able to say, we got a DAO. And not a DAO that tries to sell you a token that you're investing in because you want to sell it for more down the road. XRP is the token for this DAO. You want to be part of this, and we're going to be able to look at them and say we have the most decentralized ecosystem in the world because we're participants and we are helping build the future on this blockchain. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.